back again for the news with the fucking orange dude. And this guy, Joe, just touched me in the attempt to get your money. Hope you find all this shit funny. What the fuck fake news is for dummies. But it's not, it's not. I'll lock you up and smoke your pot. So sit right down and enjoy the show. Watch till the end to see the host. I said, watch till the end to see the host. Watch till the end to see the host. Welcome back to What the Fuck Fake News. Sit right down and watch these news with your hosts, Trump and Joe Biden. And next week we might even have Osama bin Laden. Is he denies allegations?
What's up, everybody? We got a nice little news show put together for y'all. Kind of late, but ain't I always late? Ain't I always late? Got a lot of stuff going on right now. Sitting here working on some stuff. But we got a few different things I want to check off with us. Couple little things I want to check off. My bad. I'm about to be working at night, so it's gonna throw me all the way off. But if you stick around for the after show, which we're going to have on WTFFN.com, I'm going to show you guys how to maximize storage solutions so you guys can throw away that PC and get into 2024. Man, matter of fact, just the 2020s. What you need a PC for? You got a PC in your hand. We got a PC in our hand. A PC in your hand. So what's the point? My bad, guys. I'm gonna play the song one more time. We're gonna play the song one more time.
Actually, I saw it. You're back again for the news with the fucking orange dude. And this guy, Joe, just touched me in an attempt to get your money. Hope you find all this shit funny. What the fuck fake news is for dummies. But it's not, it's not. I'll lock you up and smoke your pot. So sit right down and enjoy the show. Watch till the end to see the host. I said, watch till the end to see the host. Watch till the end to see the host. Welcome back to What the Fuck Fake News. Sit right down and watch.
What's the point of coming out with a new one? What's the point of coming out with a new one when we already had one in the mix?
He denies allegations. He actually assaulted.
Okay. Yeah, we want it in video only. We're live on the site.
You're back again for the...
It's time to see what's going on in the world. We're going to check the Google trending, let you guys know the trends going on. Ooh, this is what I want to start off first on, though. Google is not a monopoly. A lot of people are throwing around calling Google a monopoly. You know why Google's not a monopoly? I'm going to show you guys, right? I can show y'all better than I can tell y'all. I can show you better than I can tell you. Oh, yeah. Robin Hood. I'm about to show you why Google's not a monopoly. Let's see. Right? This is why Google is not a monopoly. You see this right here? We can buy into Google, right? You can buy $1 worth of Google, right? $1 worth of Google. That makes you an owner of Google. You can't buy into a monopoly. So, see this right here? Google. $1 makes you a partial owner of Google. That's why Google will never be a monopoly. All right, guys. Number one on Google trending today is Linguan. Oh, that's the CEO. That's a suspect in the CEO killing or whatever. They said they called him up or whatever. It was weird. From what I'm hearing, they called him up in a McDonald's. Like, How's you so worried about your health? You sitting here offing healthcare CEOs because of McDonald's. Does that make sense? You're going to go eat at McDonald's, but you're so health conscious. My man is so health conscious. He's ready to go in and take the life of a healthcare CEO. This story is not making sense. Like I said, he couldn't have got away on a city bike if there wasn't more to it. If you don't believe me, try to rent a city bike and ride it out of the city. Try to rent a city bike and just ride it out of the city. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's going to start blaring a siren and all that. Suspect in the CEO killing withdrew from a life of privilege and promise. The suspect, Ligi Majuni, was an Ivy League tech graduate from a prominent Maryland family. In the recent months had suffered physical and psychological pain. Now, you definitely got to be crazy if you're going to off somebody in broad daylight. Lingwin Magoni, the online version of him, was the Ivy League tech enthusiast who flaunted his tanned, chiseled looks in beach photos and party pictures with blue blazered frat parties. Oh, he's in a fraternity. Okay. He was a valedictorian of the prestigious Baltimore Prep School, who earned a bachelor's and master's degree at the University of Pennsylvania. Okay, so he got his he finished up his schooling in Philadelphia. Okay, that's good to know. And served as a head counselor at a pre-college program at Stratford University. What are you doing sitting here popping CEOs for? With his credentials and connections, he could have ended up one day as an entrepreneur or the chief executive of one of the family's thriving businesses. Instead, investigation suspect, he took a different path. Okay, so like I said, there was a lot of money behind it. It seems like this dude had a lot of money, right? So maybe this dude actually set it up and paid the money and paid off the police to be able to ride away on the city bike and escape. But I knew there was a lot of money to this. He might have just did it because it was personal. But whoever organized this spent a lot of money. A lot of money. You know how much money it takes to pay off a police force? The police now believe that Mr. M, 26, is the masked gunman who calmly took out a pistol equipped with a suppressor on Midtown Manhattan Street last week and assassinated Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. He was arrested in Altoona, PA. He didn't even make it that far. On Monday, after the employee at a McDonald's recognized him and called the police. So he wanted to get caught. Officers said they found him with a fake identification, a weapon similar to the one seen in the video, and the killing and a manifesto decrying the healthcare industry. Yeah, he wanted to get caught. Later on Monday, Mr. M was charged in Manhattan with the M word, along with additional counts of forgery and illegal weapons possession. This was only illegal because it was in New York. And in the hours after his apprehension, his baffling journey from star student to murder suspect began to come into focus. Mr. Maginot was in regular contact with friends and family until about 6 months ago, when he suddenly and inexplicably stopped communicating with them. So he planned this out for a good 6 months. Like I said, it was a lot more than some lone crazy person taking this dude out. It seemed like he had the money behind it, though. He had been suffering from painful back injuries, friends said, and then went dark, prompting anxious inquiries from relatives and his friends. Had anyone heard from him? In July, one man tagged a social media account that appeared to belong to Mr. M and said that he hadn't heard from him in months. You made commitments to me for my wedding, and if you can't honor them, I need to know so I can plan accordingly, the man wrote down in a now deleted post. Was it deleted or is it archived? Because the feds will archive your whole stuff real quick. Those 6 months will likely become the focus for investigators as they try to gather more evidence about Mr. M's connection to the killing and what he was doing in the time that no one could find him. Mr. M left behind a long series of postings about self-improvement, healthy eating, and technology, and a review of the Unabomber's manifesto. Bullet casings left the scene, scrawled with the words, "denied, delay," left the authorities and the public wondering if the shooting was payback for healthcare insurers' rejected claims. Possibly. And everybody said that when they found a bag full of Monopoly money, he probably was thinking about spreading it on the body. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that bag full of Monopoly money was just to let them know we're playing a game. Yeah, this was his little game, you know. He might have killed some more people along this time. Because the way how he went in there so calm and walked off so calm, it don't appear to be his first killing. Mr. M came from a privileged upbringing, part of an influential real estate family in the Baltimore area. Woo. His grandfather, Nick Maginone Sr., and grandmother, Mary C. Maginone, purchased the Turf Valley Country Club in Elliott City. So he's just like a regular Trump. In the 1970s and developed a golf course community. This could have been one of Trump's kids. But the thing is, if you got money like that, what would be the issue with the health care if you had the money to pay for your health care? I'm just a little bit confused about that. But it seems like somebody that had this much privilege and this much stuff handed to him, and he was in control of this much family wealth, I don't think he could have been bought to do this. I don't know. It definitely involved a lot more people. In the 1980s, the family purchased Hayfield's Country Club in Hunt Valley, MD. It also founded the nursing home company Lorraine Health Services. He had his own healthcare company. Okay, now this is making a bit more sense. He had a family healthcare company. Okay, this is making a lot more sense now. A lot more sense. A cousin, Nino Maginone, is an elected member of the Maryland House of Delegates. Hey, like I said, there's a lot of stuff behind this. The family's wealth and work charity made it well known in Baltimore. Luigi, is his name Luigi? Was just the last person you would suspect, said Thomas J. Thomas Jr., a lawyer and radio host who knows several members of the Maginone family. Don't that sound like a mob name to you guys? It is just such a well-respected family and such a prominent family within Baltimore County, he said. Luigi attended high school at the prestigious Gilman School of Baltimore, where he wrestled and played other sports, and he was the valedictorian of his graduating class in 2016. In his graduation speech, he described his class as coming up with new ideas and challenging the world. Well, in my valedictorian speech, I said, thank everybody for coming. Have a great day. And I walked off the stage because they didn't tell me I was the valedictorian to the last few minutes. And being a valedictorian in a prison jumpsuit don't really mean that much. He thanked parents in attendance for sending him and his classmates to school, which he described as far from small financial investment. Tuition is currently $37,000 a year, almost $38,000 per year for high schoolers. Aaron Castone, who became friends with Mr. Maginone during their time at Gilman, said he recalled Mr. Maginone as being particularly smart, perhaps the smartest at the elite private school. Well, he couldn't have been that smart if he was sitting there with the thing on him, waiting at McDonald's to be caught. He had everything on him, all the evidence on him, and he was in New York City. People trade weapons in New York City all the time. All the time. He could have got something new. He could have got something new before he even left. Perhaps the smartest at the elite private school even before college, Mr. Maginone had already made a mobile app where users could fly a paper airplane through obstacles. I think I might have played that game. Mr. Maginone was socially friendly and never particularly political. Mr. Crashstone recalled he was ambitious and carried his long interest in the computer science towards college. He was a big believer in the power of technology to change the world, Mr. Crashstone said. So, I think we actually have more of a motive. We're getting a lot more than what they're saying. Because it's looking like his family had a healthcare company. He had a bunch of money. So that explains somebody had to be paid off for him to be able to ride away on that bike. It was a lot of money involved in this, right? And people said, oh, he was sloppy. He definitely was. He probably wanted to get caught. But how smooth and how calm, cool, collective he walked away from the incident. And he seemed not to have a care in the world. Either he was very crazy, which that's also possible, or we're going to find out that he did some stuff to other people. Okay, now it's time to check these comments out. Pop this on up on here. I live in a country where we don't have cursive keyboards. Okay. Let's close this down. We're going to see what else is trending. Nikki Giovanni. We have a poet that passed away, Nikki Giovanni. That's why it sounds a little familiar. A revered poet. She passed away at the age of 81. So let's have a moment of silence for her. Okay, on to the next story. There's a Malibu fire. There's a fire going on in Malibu. Live updates of the wildfire in Malibu. This was from 20 minutes ago. From the Independent. I think the Independent's going to try to hit us with ads. 50 minutes ago from the local news. Malibu, California. A map provided by the Los Angeles. In Malibu, California from ABC 7. Provided by Los Angeles County Fire Department on Tuesday morning showed up updated premiere of the 2,200-acre Franklin fire and its evacuation areas in and around Malibu. As shown on the map, a mandatory evacuation order was issued by the fire department covering the area east of Malibu Canyon Road and south of something road. I don't know all these names. As well as Syria Retreat area. Thousands of residents were under... Oh, you see this map? Whew! That's a lot of fire. That's a lot of fire, guys. Thousands of residents were under the evacuation orders as firefighters battled the wind-driven blaze, burned near seaside mansions and Peppered University, where students sheltered at the school's library, watching as the blaze intensified and the sky turned deep red. Why didn't they just evacuate? Why were you going to hang out in the school library? Like, if there's a fire going on around you, right? Why would you go to where all the books are? That's crazy. That's crazy. I shouldn't be laughing about it, but it's like, I just can see the next update in a few hours, okay? And I'm just, who evacuates for a fire to a library? It was now immediately known that the Franklin fire started, but fire officials estimated that nearly 3 miles of trees and dry bush had burned and structures were threatened. That's crazy. And they said we could sign up for updates. But this is one thing I want to tell everybody watching. If you're watching this, don't go to a library if you're hiding from a fire. Like, a lot of these evacuation orders and the way schools do stuff is like, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. Well, I'm glad I didn't go to school. That's why I'm glad I didn't go to school. If I would have went to school, I probably would have thought hiding in a library from a fire was a good idea too. I don't want to get this up on here. I don't want to talk about the verdict with the stuff that happened yesterday, because it kind of has me mad. And one of my biggest issues was that more people weren't charged. More people should have been charged. There was 3 people on top of that man, right? I don't see the evidence that the jury sees. I don't know what the jury knows. So, with that being said, I want to try to move past that situation, because when you start to harper in the past and think about what could have been and what happened, you know, I keep saying all the time, this button is on every subway car. Instead of 2 more people hopping on that man, somebody should have hit that button. That's why I think the other 2 people were a little bit more culpable, because instead of holding him down with him while he was choking him, one of them could have hit that button. Yeah, everybody would be like, why'd you hit the button? You made the train stop. Well, police are going to come on the train, break up the situation, and then they'll undo the button. I think there's like a key on there or something somewhere. They got a way to open it up, man. Until that button gets hit on the inside, that train's not going nowhere. So that's one of my biggest issues. That's one of my biggest issues with it. Okay, let's see what's going on now. Trolls are out in full force today. The trolls are out in full force today. Fortnite refund? Hey, you guys might be eligible for a Fortnite refund. Let's look into this. NBC5 Chicago. Fortnite refunds. You could get money. NBC5 Chicago. Fortnite refunds. You could get money after the settlement says Epic Games unlawfully charged players. Nearly 630,000 Fortnite refunds are in the mail under the FTC says users were unlawfully charged for purchases, calling Epic Game tactics something consistent and confusing. Hundreds of thousands of U.S. players of the online video game Fortnite could be entitled to a refund after the Federal Trade Commission says users were unlawfully charged for unwanted purchases. According to the announcement, the FTC is sending 629,344 refunds totaling more than $72 million to your parents. Give your parents that check back. Don't try to sit there and try to figure out how to put that check and spending more money on your Fortnite. And the FTC said consumers were tricked by video game maker Epic Games. The $245 million settlement was first announced in December 2022. The announcement said claiming Epic Games allowed children to rack up unauthorized charges without parental involvement. The settlement claims Epic Games also blocked some users who disputed unauthorized charges from accessing their purchased content, calling the game makers' tactics circular offensive, consistent and confusing. The first round of payments, nearly 630,000 of them, were sent out Monday. The announcement said. So it's going to go to probably a house that a lot of people don't live at no more. According to the FCC, half of the payments went out via check and half went out via PayPal. Why are you giving people a check when they use their cards? Why don't you just refund it to their cards? The average payment amounts to about $114. How much were you guys spending on Fortnite? What? I thought that like when the games went up to like $50 and I stopped buying them, I thought that was crazy. According to officials, the first round of checks went out to those who filed a valid claim by October 8th. However, eligible consumers can still file a claim online. Here's what else to know about the Fortnite refunds. How to file a claim and who is eligible. Who is eligible to apply for the Fortnite refund? According to the FCC, users can apply for a refund from Fortnite if any of the following statements are true. You were charged in-game currency for items you didn't want between January 2017 and September 2022. Your child made charges to your credit card without your knowledge between 2017 and 2018. Your account was locked between 2017 and 2022 after you complained to your credit card company about wrongful charges. Users must be at least 18 years old to file a claim. So what about all the people that wasn't 18 that filed it? Well, I guess, I don't know. Parents or guardians can complete forms for those under the age of 18, the FTC said. According to the officials, claims will not impact purchases made on Fortnite accounts because they take the stuff away from you every season. The claims process only applies to Fortnite players living in the U.S., the FTC said. So if you don't live in the U.S., you are SOL. How to file a claim. It says claims can be filed here. In order to apply for a refund, users must provide a claim number or Epic account ID. Those who did not get an email can locate their Epic account ID here. Deadline to file a claim. To be eligible for a refund, users must submit a claim by January 10th, 2025. How much will Fortnite refunds be? The FCC says payments amount of approved claims will depend on several factors, including how many people submit one, according to the FCC, and the average refund for the first round of payments that went out for $114. When will Fortnite refunds be paid out? The FTC on Monday says it issued 629,344 refunds as part of the first round. So now we're just getting in circular talk. But if your kids play Fortnite, or if you're a kid that plays Fortnite, let your parents know. And then let people know that have kids that play Fortnite that you can get your money back. You can get your money back. They weren't supposed to be taking your money like that at all. At all. And what country do you live in? 6'9". That don't make no sense. People be trolling on here like crazy. What y'all be trolling for, guys? What's the point of trolling? Don't listen to what the trolls say. They don't know about anything. They're just trying to mess up the show for us, and that's why I don't read comments. 28 years later. I guess there's some show called... Oh, this is probably about 28 days later. And that's why I say, especially the 28 days later zombie phenomenon is the closest to reality of a zombie outbreak. You know what a zombie outbreak is? A zombie outbreak is when something happens and trade ends up stopping and you can't get a rabies vaccine. If you have rabies as a human or a pet, you're a zombie. Zombies are real. Don't let them tell you zombies ain't real. If something happened and the whole world ended up getting messed up and you live around a lot of wildlife, there will be zombie outbreaks around you. People will catch rabies. They'll start foaming out the mouth, going crazy and biting people. And after a little while, that virus is going to take them out. But in the meantime, everybody they did is transform it. Zombies are real. Don't let them tell you different. Zombies are real. A lot of these folk tales or whatever, and these little monster stories or whatever, is somewhat based in reality, but it gets exaggerated for children's stories to make children stay away from this stuff, you know? Now, if you see a crazy animal or a person foaming out the mouth and they start chasing you, get away. The only way, just look up how you deal with rabies, and you'll see where the zombie stories came from. We're about at the last sip. I'm going to have to stop it a little bit to pray, but they're talking about Blue Ivy, Jordan Neely. I don't want to be on that no more. A little depressing. Jamie Foxx is in the news. Justin Balladine. South Africa versus Pakistan. Record forecast snowstorms. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. Let's see what's trending in the past 4 hours. Mark. Google stock. Hey, that brings some more stuff up. I already touched on Google earlier, though. I don't want to have circular talking points. Circular talking points is no good. Just know there's going to be a point where I put on a portion from yesterday's show, so I'll go off a slide, and I'll be back up. Okay. We already talked about that the rebel-backed figure takes charge as Syria's interim prime minister. Israel confirms attack on Syria's naval fleet. Live updates, we already talked on that. Brazil's president Lula undergoes emergency brain surgery. Did he have a brain worm too? Does this man have a brain worm too? This in from NBC News. The leftist leader, 79, is recovering in ICU after undergoing a brain surgery for intracranial hemorrhage. So he had like clot in his brain. I don't know why they don't just say this stuff like regular knowledge and try to put these words that trip me up and make it hard for me to read. Why don't you just say he had a blood clot in his brain? He had blood clots in his brain, blood clots in his brain, blood clots in his brain. He had the blood clots in his brain. Brazilian president Brazilian president has undergone emergency surgery to drain a bleed on his brain, also known as a blood clot. The leftist leader, 79, underwent why do we have so many old people in politics still? Underwent a procedure on an MRI scan, showed an intracranial hemorrhage, according to the Associated Press. Translation of the medical note published on his X account profile. Is that it? I'll continue reading. The surgery was a success and Lula is well and currently being monitored in an intensive care unit in a hospital in Sao Paulo in southeastern Brazil. Why did I say a hospital in southeastern Brazil? I gotta read ahead. A transition of the medical note said he was transferred from the capital, Brasilia, where on Monday he had an MRI scan. It added, earlier this year, Lula fell at home and was left with a cut visible on the back of his head. Whew. This is above his neck. Doctors believe the two incidents are linked, according to the transition of the hospital medical report. Well, yeah, usually when you have a stroke, it's from having a blood clot go to your brain. Speak plain English. Stop trying to complicate stuff. The earlier accident forced Lula to cancel his planned trip for the 2024 BRICS summit in Kazan, a city in southwest Russia. That seems kind of odd. Aren't we beefing with Russia right now? According to the statement from his office at the time, a news conference will be held Tuesday by doctors to provide further details according to the statement. Brazilian Labor Minister Luiz Marshall was one of the first publicly reached out to by the president, wishing him a swift and full recovery on social media platform X Tuesday morning. So Joe Biden is over there messaging our ops. Joe Biden said, "Hey, what's up, op? How you doing, op?" They try to cripple the American dollar. They is literally trying to cripple the American dollar right now, and you just cool with it. You're like, oh, well, he's my buddy. He's my buddy. He's on the left side. Well, I'll tell y'all about the WTJ and the base brain bug. It has no limits. It has no limits. Can we get some people that's like not on that type of line? Do you guys realize that Donald Trump doesn't suffer from the same base brain bug a lot of you guys do? A lot of you guys are suffering from a mental disorder where you're like, everybody on our side is good. Everybody on the other side is bad. But Donald Trump don't suffer from that. You know how I know? I got 2 names for you to tell you how Donald Trump doesn't suffer from the base brain bug. Robert F. Kennedy and Chelsea Gabber. He got 2 Democrats that ran in the election, the last 2 elections against Joe Biden. They were really trying to beat him and become president on his staff. But you guys don't want to see that, like, sometimes the other side's right. Sometimes the other side's right. Like, up until recently, people on the left, they were really pushing, like, healthy eating, getting the poisons out the food and everything, organic veggies that don't have pesticides on them. People on the right were pushing a high meat diet. But when you meet in the middle, you're like, okay, well, let's get all these pesticides and all these poisons out of our food and eat some healthy vegetables. And let's eat healthy meat and mix it together and have a nice dish, you know? Some of you guys only want to eat meat. Kind of sounds a little rainbow to me. Kind of sounds a little rainbow to me if you just want to eat meat. TikTok asked court to pause the law that could take place. Shut down. Oh, we read that yesterday. Netanyahu corruption trial explained. I don't think we can touch that, but just know he's on trial right now. Google steps in after McDonald's gets reviewed by him over arresting the United Healthcare CEO. Google don't do that for none of us, though. I guarantee my reviews for this channel is like crazy on Google. Crazy on Google. Crazy. Oh, so I want to touch on something, right? I've been at Altoona one time in my life. One time in my life. I was kicked out of the county next to Altoona, a county called Cambria. Altoona is in Blair County. When they kicked me out of Cambria County, they took me on a ride through the woods and told me about how, like, when they have problems, they know how to make their problems disappear. Blase this, blase that. Told me don't come back to Johnstown or Cambria County and drop me off in the middle of Altoona. And sent me on my way. So, yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes they'll kick you out the county and politely tell you that there's a lot of woods we could drop you off on the way next time. Allahu Alam. Life is crazy. Life is crazy. Also, Russia's hanging out with Syria. Taiwan's defense minister tortured body. Wow. Syria, the Hill. Yeah. At this point, the people that just trespass on J6, I believe they should be let out, but they shouldn't get no pardon. They shouldn't get no pardon. Let's see what's going on in the U.S. Yeah, Trump wants to end birthright citizenship. We touched on that yesterday. I might bring it back up or whatever to extend this show. But I broke my long cord yesterday because I dropped it. I don't want to touch on that no more. Medicare for all. Like I said, that's tricky. I don't think there should be Medicare for all. I'm more, let's abolish insurance. Let everybody pay out of pocket. Let you go in there and negotiate. Because, you know, they didn't have insurance, right? And instead of insurance negotiating with money that you can't even comprehend for your healthcare stuff, you go in there and you be like, I broke my arm. They're like, oh, it's $250 or it's $2,500 to fix it. Like, well, I got $200. And I'll be like, okay. They'll take you $200 because there's going to be people dumb enough to just run their credit card and spend $2,500 to get their arm in a cast. And let me bring this up, right? I want to bring something up for you guys. Cast. Let's consider this, right? Next time you think because you have a broken arm or leg, you have to go to the hospital, just consider for $10, you can order the same stuff off of Amazon and wrap your stuff up in a cast. Wrap your stuff up in a cast. That's simple. Simple solutions. That's what we do over here at WTFFN. We come up with simple solutions to complex problems. Fox analyst blast. Okay, we already heard it. RFK Jr.'s war on corn syrup brings a health crusade to Trump's country. World's always crazy. Robert Murdoch loses his battle, leaving future of media empire in the balance. Okay, so Fox News might be about to shut down. Fox News might be about to shut down. Published December 10th. That's today. Oh, let me get this up. I've always got a whole bunch of notifications at the top. I don't care about mobile data. I don't care about half of this stuff you guys are trying to tell me I should be caring about. This is going to be the last story before I'm going to go office a lot. And then I'm put on some of the yesterday's news. Rupert Murdoch, right? And this is Tyrus's uncle or something because they got the same last name. Loses his legal battle, leaving future media empire in the balance. In his seamlessly never-ending drama surrounding Rupert Murdoch and his family, life has an immediate arc again. A report on December 9th in the New York Times revealed details of the recent secret hearing in Nevada probate court that was literally prompted by the epic HBO drama Succession. In April last year, immediately after the airing of the Succession episode in which family patriarch Logan Roy passed away, leaving both family and media business in chaos, Elizabeth Murdoch asked her legal representative of the family trust to send what was called a succession memo. Her aim was to avoid another episode of life-intimidating art. Her father had moved to change an irreversible family trust that had been created after the end. Let me see what this is talking about. That made no sense. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Her aim was to avoid another episode, and Rupert's move was designed to weaken Elizabeth's position and that of her siblings, Prudence and James, while enabling the family patriarch to effectively rule from the grave through his eldest son. The probate commissioner in Nevada, who heard Rupert Murdoch's application, resoundingly ruled against his attempt to change the family trust in a way that would have secured her position atop the global media empire. Oh no, his position atop the global media empire. So they telling us about this is crazy. So basically, they made a show about what would happen, and now it's happening because they had some insider knowledge. Well done, great show, well done. All right, let's get this a little bit bigger. Turn off that camera for a second. You guys are going to watch a rerun because I'm going to go office a lot.
You're back again for the news with the fucking orange dude. And this guy, Joe, just touched me in an attempt to get your money. Hope you find all this shit funny. What the fuck fake news is for dummies. But it's not. I eat snot. I'll lock you up and smoke your pot. So sit right down and enjoy the show Watch out.
I'm about to go back in and change that line and be like, but it's not, I got
And to see the host, I say, why should it end to see the host? Why should
Life
it
is
end
crazy
to
than
see the
Jesus.
host? Welcome back to What the Fuck Fake News. Sit right down and watch these news with your hosts, Trump and Joe Biden. And next week, we might even have Osama bin Laden. He denies allegations he actually assaulted a 13-year-old with Sean Diddy Combs. Okay? Well, yeah, I don't want to see y'all play this. A woman who alleges she was actually assaulted by Sean Diddy Combs has amended her lawsuit to include allegations that she was also assaulted by Jay-Z at the same party. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of rumors going around that Diddy and Jay-Z were giving people effing enemies and trying to hold them hostage and kidnapping them and stuff, you know? I was called crazy for believing stuff like that. The lawsuit was initially filed against Combs in October, but on Sunday, the woman added Sean Carter, the rapper and businessman known as Jay-Z, as a defendant in the civil lawsuit. Probably in fear, now she in witness protection. She come forward and say a little bit more. Carter is the first celebrity to be accused of sexual assault in connection to Combs. He was at all the party. What would you expect? In a statement addressed to CNN, Carter called the allegations so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Well, the thing is, you can't file a criminal complaint after stuff is past statutes of limitations, but you know that, and that's why you're coming forward saying stuff like this. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? Well, if you were at a party and there was a whole bunch of women passed out and y'all were all taking turns on them, I don't think you was checking ID or seeing how old she was, Mr. Combs. Combs was indicted in September on charges of trafficking, racketeering, and conspiring and prostration-related charges. He pleaded not guilty to all charges and has denied all wrongdoing in roughly 30 civil lawsuits that have been filed against him. The woman, who was identified as Jane Doe, said she was 13 years old at the time she was allegedly assaulted by Combs and Carter at the party following the VMA award in 2000. So she was 13 in 2000. It's been 24 years. She's almost 30 now. That's way past the statute of limitations. So it's not like she can file criminal charges. The woman alleges she began to feel woozy after consuming a drink at the party and wandered into a nearby bedroom. The woman alleges Carter raped her first, followed by Combs. The woman says she hit Combs and ran out the party, according to the amended lawsuit. Carter was identified to be the initial lawsuit as Celebrity A. News of the lawsuit was first reported by NBC. According to the lawsuit, those attorneys reached out to Carter to request a mediation to resolve this matter. Upon present information and belief, Jay-Z responded to said letter by not only filing an utterly flipperless lawsuit, but by also orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against the plaintiff's lawyers. So he's countersuing and putting her through the whole ringer. Probably going to get locked up in a mental facility and told she's crazy. Employers and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z herein. The effort was meant to scare plaintiff and to discredit her counsel. That effort failed. Indeed, plaintiff chose to file an amendment as a result of the outrageous conduct perpetrated by Carter. So basically, before Jay-Z was even named in the lawsuit, Jay-Z had his lawyers and had people coming to her door telling her, you got to change this story. You can't file this lawsuit. According to the lawsuit, in his response sent to CNN on Sunday, which was addressed to Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, Carter called the mediation request a blackmail attempt. Carter also said, this lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. In a statement from Houston-based Busby, he wrote, the pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter, and it will be litigated in court. But the thing is, it can only be litigated civilly because it happened almost 25 years ago. Almost 25 years ago this happened. So you saying that she needs to file it in criminal court? Why didn't she file it in criminal court? One of the most powerful men in the world, sir. You're a billionaire. You got hitters on deck. People ain't really trying to say nothing about you until they're out the country. Carter added in his statement that his only heartbreak is for his family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at an age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims. And I explained the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. Well, they're saying you took a little girl's innocence, sir. CNN reported in November that an anonymous male celebrity filed a lawsuit against the Texas attorney representing Doe, alleging he was the victim of an extortion scheme. So before he was even named in the lawsuit, he was suing. Oh, let me see. Attorneys of the unnamed celebrity claimed further that Busby had threatened to unleash entirely fabricating and salacious allegations of the sexual assault. I can actually do that one. Busby denied extortion claims against him in an Instagram post in which he wrote that his firm won't allow the power of their high-dollar lawyers to intimidate and silence assault survivors in a statement to CNN. If you are trying to hide your identity and you claim you did nothing wrong, doesn't seem very smart to take that approach, Busby told CNN in an email at the time. We will address it in due course. So he filed an anonymous lawsuit against somebody that didn't even sue him yet. He wasn't even on the lawsuit yet. And as soon as the lawsuit went against Diddy, he started countersuing and trying to file litigations and getting a woman suing Diddy at the time, just Diddy locked up. So he's the one that broke the silence first, because she wasn't even going to name him. And then that's how this all came in. I have confidence that with full public disclosure, all of this will sort itself out, Busby wrote. On Sunday, Busby responded to social media to Carter's statement saying that the alleged victim never demanded a penny from him. Exactly. She wasn't suing him. She was suing Diddy, and then Jay-Z started suing her. So, hey, I'm not going to sue a random person. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to sue a random person for suing one of my friends if I know one of my friends is doing a whole bunch of Diddy-type stuff. Okay, so I got some stuff I got to handle on this phone. I'm going to address some comments. I see there's some comments coming in or whatever. Please don't argue amongst each other in the comments. Please. Yeah, he definitely ratted on himself. Jay-Z definitely ratted on himself. Listen, right? I know certain people personally that been put into mental facilities for saying that Jay-Z laced them with amphetamines and tried to hold them hostage. And everybody said it was crazy. So, no. She's probably about to get locked up in a mental facility and told everything she said is made up and untrue. And I know, because I know somebody personally that something like that happens. Allegedly. Because that person never actually met Jay-Z face to face. It was just staff members, and they were telling them that they had to do a whole bunch of weird stuff or whatever. And that person ran away from her. President-elect Donald Trump vows to make immediate and sweeping changes after he takes office on January 20th. Okay. Such as pardons for those convicted in the attack on the U.S. Capitol, and said he wants to find legislative solution to keep dreamers in the country legally. That's what he should have been. Did that. Because, there's people that cross that border with no intention on breaking the law, right? If they're willing to work and they're willing to get a social security number and stuff, and they're willing to pay taxes, let them stay. And the people that aren't willing to pay taxes, it's very easy to find the people that want to be out here breaking the law because they're not going to apply for no social security card. They're not going to apply to get their ID. So they're going to be running around undocumented still because they're out here breaking the law. You catch somebody, they're not documented, you don't have their system on the file, and you know it's time to send them back home. In an interview with Kirsten Welker, moderator of NBC News, Meet the Press, Trump also said he'll work to extend tax cuts passed in his first term. He said he will not seek to impose restrictions on the A-pills. He plans to deport millions of undocumented immigrants and try to end birthright citizenship. I don't think you can end birthright citizenship. If you end birthright citizenship, Mr. Trump, you will no longer be a citizen because your grandfather immigrated from Germany. No, you got birthright citizenship. You and your pops. Your pops would lose his citizenship. You would lose your citizenship. And everybody would have to go through the process of becoming a citizen again. What you need to do is, you need to end revoking felon citizenships. Because of certain amendment laws they passed, covered under the guise of ending slavery, it actually made anybody convicted of a felony a non-citizen. If you got a felony on your record, that's the reason why they can perform a background check, deny you from certain jobs, stop you from getting into certain housing or whatever, because you're no longer an American citizen once you're a felon. You're actually a slave of the United States. So, that's what you need to change. Instead of you sitting there talking about you're going to pardon everybody from January 6th, why don't you commute the sentences of the people that didn't break no windows or whatever? Because 5 years for trespassing, that seems about fair, right? 5 years for trespassing seems about fair. Look into the cases one by one, because it was people that actually broke out windows and broke into that building. And then you want to sit there and say, oh, well, people didn't know. Yes, you did. They saw broken windows. They saw people acting up in there. So you think you just stroll through the Capitol or whatever and take pictures of people riding. Just because you wasn't riding, you think that you should get a free pass on the people that was riding that you just sat there and watched. And you're like, oh, let's take pictures. Wow, this is so cool. No. Let them keep their felonies. And then if you want to talk about making felons have their rights back, let's do a blanket thing. I don't know, you want to do 10 years, 5 years, 20 years off of probation and parole? 20 years off of paper? I don't know. But maybe we should come up with some type of path to making the people that were born in America citizens once again. Is that too hard? Is that too hard to ask? Continue reading. They always want to do all this stuff. Trump's first Postulation Network television interview took place Friday on Trump Tower in Manhattan, where he spoke for more than an hour about policy plans Americans can expect in his next term. Trump said he will fulfill a campaign promise to levy tariffs on imports from America's biggest trading partners. I gotta have mixed feelings about that, right? There's certain stuff we don't have the infrastructure to make in America. So when you start tariffing other countries, they'll stop certain products from coming in. But it's always good to make more products in America. It's ridiculous that we can get stuff from China for cheaper than in America. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we can get stuff from China shipped over on a boat for cheaper than is made in America. So if stuff is made in America, I'm all for making the American products cheaper. Because that's all it's going to do. It's going to make it cheaper to get milk from America than milk from Mexico. It's going to make it cheaper to get paper from America than paper shipped over from China. And let's start bringing back some of the infrastructure. Let's start bringing back some of the jobs, like my friend in the comments talking about his felony from 16 years ago. Make some jobs he can do. That's going to pay him well. And yeah, prices might go sky high, but prices are already sky high. So let's start coming up with a way to put money back in our pockets. It's like, we can work together. We can definitely work together to do this stuff together, guys. We can work together to do this stuff together. Let me see. Trump also said he will raise the age for government programs like Social Security and Medicaid and will not make cuts to them as part of the spending reduction report efforts led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah, you don't want to do away with Social Security. I don't think making the age higher is really a good idea either. You guys got to stop using Social Security money for stuff that it's not intended for. We pay money to Social Security, right? That money ends up getting put in escrow, and you end up drawing from it after you get to the age where you can draw from these benefits, right? But because of inflation and because of bad budgeting, we end up going into debt every year, and that Social Security money wasn't being used for Social Security. So maybe we should start taking money out of other funds and putting it back into Social Security so we can still have that safety net for the dude that worked at McDonald's for the past 20 years, and now it's time for him to retire. Or worked at McDonald's for the past 30 years, now it's time to retire. You don't have that cushy retirement like somebody working at a Fortune 500 company because he was locked up from 16 to 26, and then from 26 to 66, he ended up working at McDonald's because that's the best job he could have got. That's the best job he could have got. And yeah, he started off making $725, but later on in life, he was making $50, $60K a year. He was doing pretty well for himself, and now it's time for him to retire, but leave that safety net there. Why would we want to end a safety net that's always been there? Put the money back in there. Find the money that was taken out, put it back in there. I'm all for cutting a lot of stuff that we don't need, right? Like, you realize that they repave the same roads every year, and then the back alley streets are always messed up? Yeah, so, that's the end of that story. Yes, I agree with SSI. The same thing needs it, and others use the money for. But the thing is, that's your retirement, right? If you choose to sleep in an alley and use your retirement to get high your whole life, more than likely your retirement ain't going to be as long as somebody that needs it and they're using it to pay their bills. They kind of eliminate themselves out the issue from using their Social Security to do a whole bunch of stuff that's not supposed to do. Like, how long does an active addict really have? Most of them don't have connections like Hunter. Most of them don't have the means to end up keeping their stuff safe or whatever. More than likely, they're going to end in early life or whatever. Yeah. Now, maybe a reform of Social Security would be more correct. And we had a lot of comments coming through here. A lot of comments. It seemed like there's a lot of people arguing early in here. Let me see. Yeah, I remember you. Somebody came in here just to tell me to shut up. Or maybe somebody else. We got Muhammad Shaq in here. What's up? Yeah. Just reform some of this stuff. Figure out how to keep this money in better places. Keep this money in better places. CNN anchor announces shock exit on air that's effective immediately. Said, I'll quit. She said, F you, ain't none of y'all cool. I'm out. Okay, we got the CNN anchor in shock. Oh, and this is actually a story generated by AI. At least they're telling us now. When I have stories written by AI on WTFFN.com, I tell everybody. So, yeah, basically in this story, CNN anchor announces shock exit on the air as effective immediately. Emmy Award-winning anchor Alison Camerito announced she was leaving CNN on what would be her final broadcast Sunday. Her exit after 10 years at the news network seemed to be a surprise. Watch the video below. Before we go on this very busy news day, I just want to take a moment to share some personal news. Camerito said as she signed off on CNN Newsroom, "This is my last day on air at CNN. I've had such incredible opportunities here these 10 plus years. I've interviewed presidents and heroes and extraordinary people. The kind of peak career experiences that I have dreamed of since I was a teenager. The journalists at CNN are the very best in the entire news business." Well, some of these presidential candidates don't want to give anybody an interview. I tried to get an interview with Vivek Ramaswamy when he first started running, and then he played me. He was going on everybody's show but mine. I've interviewed presidents. The journalists at CNN are the very best in the entire news business, so why are you leaving? And it's been an honor to have been their colleague. It's also an honor to have been your host this past decade through some of the biggest stories of her lifetime. So do you think she's about to go to, let's take some bets. You think she's going to Twitter, Blue Skies, or YouTube? Or maybe all three. Let's find out. This lady's last name that I don't know, 58, thanked her colleagues and received praise from Wolf Visser, whom called her a good friend and outstanding journalist. Now, I'm leaning more to she was about to get fired, and instead of her getting fired, she quit because they're cutting a lot of people from CNN. They're cutting like half the CNN staff right now. In addition to receiving Emmys for her coverage of the police killing of George Floyd and the arrest of Roger Stone, Miss C won the Edward R. Murrow Award for reporting on Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. She is also known for writing off supporters of now President-elect Trump who go off the deep end after hosting numerous voting panels on New Day. I think at this point, the smartest thing the rest of us could do is no longer give Trump supporters a platform and no longer lend them our ears. It's time to turn off our microphone, she wrote in an essay shortly after January 6th. Oh, so she's going on a run. She's going on a run. She's about to pull an Ellen DeGeneres. Camito previously worked for Fox News. In September, she announced that her husband, Tim Lewis, had passed away months earlier after battling pancreatic cancer. She might have got a nice little life insurance policy. That looks like that's the end of the story. That's the end of the story. Why is that the end of the story? Why? Oh, why is that the end of the story? On this episode of Celebrity Political Apprentice, a lot of how is the latest Trump personal attorney to join his administration. Here's the full list. President-elect DJT named his personal attorney a lot of how to serve as counselor to the president in his next administration, marking the latest in a string of Trump personal attorneys who have been rewarded with roles and with government roles since his election. We're not signing up for him. Stop it. A lot of how Trump made his White House counselor the role filled in his first term by advisor Kellyanne Conway as attorney has become one of Trump's better-known personal lawyers, representing him in court during his second trial against writer Eugene Carroll and civil fraud trial against him. Howard previously worked as a fashion merchandiser and was a low-profile lawyer who represented a parking garage company before she took on Trump as a client in 2021. So that was her big break. Listen, Trump probably thought she was cute or something. He was like, oh, I like her, and I like her too. I like her, and I like her too. He's trying to F every lawyer in the world. David Warrington, I don't remember him. David Warrington named Warrington to be his next White House counselor, replacing initial nominee Bill something. Warrington serves as a partner in the law group. Pam Bondi, that's another lawyer. Oh, so he got all his lawyers on him. Will Scarf. But the thing is, right, if he already got lawyers, and he already been dealing with lawyers and lawyer-legal relationship, and he's been paying these people for years, right, why would he not bring the lawyers he's already paying with him? You know? So you're already a billionaire. You already find the best lawyers in the world to represent you in criminal cases. Why wouldn't you hire the best lawyers in the world? Why should he hire lawyers he wouldn't hire himself to represent the White House? Let's make some sense out of that, though. Like I said, I'm going to criticize Trump when he's doing bad things, like pardoning everybody from January 6th. It's stupid. But it's a good thing if he's hiring lawyers he knows that's already good. Now, it's stupid to pardon everybody from January 6th, but it's smart. It's smart for him to hire lawyers that he would hire with his own money. He's supposed to hire lawyers that he wouldn't hire regularly? Am I supposed to criticize everything this man does? I'm supposed to be like, I hate Trump. I don't like a single thing he does. No. I'm not like that brain warped, right? I'm not sitting here suffering from no base brain bug. I'm not sitting here suffering from no fucking WTJ virus. I don't suffer from the WTJ virus, and I don't suffer from the base brain bug. So, because I don't suffer from either of these far political diseases going on in people's brains, I try to just go straight to the center and see what's going on. This just in from USA Today. No, we're going to do this a little bit different. Cracker Barrel's in the news. A whole barrel of crackers. Why are these crackers in the news? Well, it's Cracker Barrel like the restaurant. I'm not sitting here making fun of white people. Maybe. Yeah. Cracker Barrel refused service to special education students at Maryland restaurant. School says, I don't have an option of being quiet about these things, parent Stacy Campbell said after speaking out at the incident. A field trip for the special education students to a Cracker Barrel in Maryland this weekend. Get that off my screen. This weekend has resulted in an outcry from teachers and parents. I might start using my Samsung browser because it has a built-in ad blocker. On Tuesday, a group of 11 students and 7 staff members from Maryland Charles County Public Schools District were refused service at the Cracker Barrel restaurant in Woodruff, Maryland. Superintendent Maria Navarro said in a statement, the outing was part of a community-based instruction for students at the district's Dr. James Carrick Elementary School. The instruction allows students to in special education programs to perform practical skills, and socialize with public. The Cracker Barrel general manager told teaching staff the restaurant cannot accommodate to your group, and that the restaurant should be removed from the approved list of restaurants for community-based instruction. So y'all turned away money. I guarantee Cracker Barrel's mad about this, right? You turn them away. The Cracker Barrel's probably like, why would you turn away a whole group of people? And the restaurant should be removed from the approved list for community-based instruction. Charles County Public Schools special education teacher Katie told parents in an email, which was shared online. I'm not reading this whole email. That's out. Stacey Campbell told USA Today that her autistic, non-speaking 9-year-old son, who goes by JoJo, attended the outing on Tuesday. I saw Ray Campbell said when she read Snyder's email. JoJo attends Charles County Public School Achieve, a regional program in Charles County that serves students in kindergarten through age 21. That's like a vast age of having a whole bunch of kids together or whatever. Like, so you have people that are old enough to drink in class with kindergartners. That just seems like so many red flags. So many red flags. And with the handicap portion of it or whatever, it's just bound to end up like, these kids have behavioral and mental issues, so they're probably prone to more outbreaks. That don't seem like a safe situation to me. So you kind of just expose yourself with that one, man. Significant cognitive disability students in the school district achieve and soar regional programs for students with autism. Programs attended community-based instruction outings once a month between November and May, Campbell said. In her statement, Navarro said Charles County Public School staff notified the winner that Cracker Barrel of the group size and purpose of its visit, but they were told reservations were unnecessary. Though the group did not ultimately dine in, the restaurant did permit the students and staff to place and carry out to-go orders, Snyder said in her email to parents. During this time, the servers were blatantly rude to our staff and ignored all of our students, Snyder continued in the email, refusing to serve them. They did not even ask if our students wanted a drink or anything. Our students were so well-behaved and sat at the tables patiently, which you know can be hard, waiting for the food and drinks to go. After about an hour of waiting, Snyder said the students were moved to wait outside on the school bus. They ate lunch back at the elementary school. Snyder did not immediately respond for comment. Okay, so it is elementary school, so they do divide up the programs. Okay. About the experience, where contacted on Friday afternoon. In a statement provided to USA Today, Cracker Barrel said that staffing challenge led to impacting the group's experience. At Cracker Barrel, we strive to create a welcoming environment for all of our guests. And we understand that a recent visit by this group to our Woodruff location fell short of their expectations. The statement reads, a staffing challenge that day led to the closure of part of our second dining room, creating confusion that impacted the group's experience. We take this matter seriously and are working directly with the group's leadership to better understand what happened, extend our apologies, and make things right. But the thing is, you got super employees that just did not want to let the kids come in, right? They figured out a way to still get your money. And when they denied you got service, you guys should have just went to McDonald's or Taco Bell. I suggest Taco Bell. Taco Bell tends to be way better than McDonald's, in my opinion. But you probably don't want to smell them all through the day in the class or whatever. So maybe McDonald's, I don't know. But if Cracker Barrel wasn't serving you, maybe take them to IHOP. Take them to that IHOP, baby. They can place your order. The food is crazy. 24 hours. Hopefully I don't get no copyright strike from singing that song too well. Oh, and now they're protesting the Cracker Barrel. They're protesting the Cracker Barrel. No more crackers in this barrel. No more crackers in this barrel. Hey, I don't blame them, though. I don't blame them. They don't usually shut stuff down. They tried to place a reservation. They didn't let them place a reservation. They said no reservations are necessary. Cracker Barrel is known to have a bunch of people coming in randomly. So why would you turn away? It's a special education school. It's a special ed school. So I guarantee them class sizes were at most 20 people. They all fit on a school bus. And you know what type of school buses they drive around in. So if they all fit on a school bus, why deny them service? Why? They try to call, make a reservation. They try to call and order ahead. They didn't want them to call and order ahead. Yahoo! Johnny Manziel and Jose Casino heat up social media with immediate bathtub video. Oh, what was they doing? Was they posting for their OF? Former Heisman Trophy winner NFL quarterback Johnny Manziel, along with model and NBL legend Jose Casano's daughter, Josie Casano, have been in the headlines for more than just being official. The couple who went Instagram officially back in April recently shared an intimate look at their lives that got fans talking. Manziel, who just turned 32 this week, shared a brief eyebrow-raising video of himself and his wife bathing together on the tub in Instagram. And you should see that picture. Matter of fact, the picture's about to come back up. The picture's about to come back up, right? And then people sit there and get mad when I say, oh, yeah, now that I'm in my 30s, I'm middle-aged, right? You have middle-aged, And that's when athletes retire, when they hit middle age. We don't live forever. Then you got your second half of your life, right? Which is like from 33 to like 66, right? Anything past 66 retirement age, you're at advanced age. With advanced technology, stuff like the trucking industry that can keep you with fresh produce and vegetables all the way around. It's not just the medical industry. You got a lot of people that are living a whole organic lifestyle, right? You cannot have fresh fruits and vegetables to keep you alive in your 70s and 80s without modern technology, i.e. a diesel truck. It's modern. They didn't have it that long ago. Mesel, who turned 32 this week, shared a brief eyebrow-raising video of himself and his girl bathing together for his Instagram. The video shows Menzel washing Conso's hair while she sprays herself with a handheld shower head. Sure is personal, but the playful nature of the clip speaks volumes about the carefree dynamic between them. We're not going to show too much, but you see the face. Yo, they was cutting up on the IG Live. What happened? Didn't the dude from Club Shay Shay do it? Didn't the dude from Club Shay Shay just do something like this recently? Everybody wants to do stuff like this before they end up launching AOF. The celebration didn't end there. Casio later shared a more traditional birthday moment on her own Instagram story, holding a cake with lit candles for her boy. The couple first generated romance rumors earlier this year and made her relationship Instagram official in April. So it's not official till you got a relationship Instagram. Yeah, I guess my relationship ain't official. I barely have an Instagram. The couple first generated they bore a photo from Stagecoach Festival and a shot. The two shared a tender moment which almost immediately went viral as the couple supporters rooted for a love match between the football star and MLB icon's daughter. So you got your daughter out here busting it open on the IG Live. They about to have their OF content. They like, we ain't gonna go broke. They like, this money about to run out. We is not about to go broke. Like, how we gonna make some money, daddy? Just smash in the bathtub and then charge people to watch it on OF. Charge people to watch it on OF. A Muslim who stepped away from the spotlight of professional football and some a successful model and media personality seem to be embracing life together with gusto, whether it's romantic getaways or birthday celebrations. Their pair isn't shy about letting their followers in on her journey at all. You seen the picture of her face? You seen the picture of her face? He's sitting here bouncing all over the place when he was in the bathtub. From Instagram posts of viral videos, the pair Johnny Menzel and Josie will prove to be among the most chatted couples this year. So I guess that's how you tie the knot now, right? Instead of people getting married, they just make a relationship Instagram and they post almost OF content. Damn, it's crazy. You want to find that video? We're not going to show that video on here. Omnicom. Say that 10 times fast. Omnicom acquires IPG to create advertising agency Behemoth. They deal with an estimated value of over $13 billion. Has industry-rattling implications, but may not address client demands for simplicity. And you remember when Dr. Evil was like, $100 billion, and everybody laughed at him? That is like every bill that comes through Congress. Pretty soon they're going to be like, oh, how much is the bill? $100 trillion. Omnicron Group is acquiring Interpublic Group of companies IPG, according to the press release. The combination will see two giants of the agency landscape unite their talent and technology to address the fast-evolving needs of markets. The deal will create a network of over 100,000 employees in practices spanning media decisions, marketing, and precision marketing, consumer relations management, data e-commerce, advertising, and healthcare. Everybody's getting into healthcare now. And y'all wonder what happened to that CEO. Okay. Public relations and branding. It also forwards a shared goal of building a comprehensive identity solution that improves understanding into consumer behavior. The acquisition, subject to regulation and shareholder approvals, is expected to close in the second half of 2025. While the United scale of the companies will be impressive, some are skeptical as to whether the move will address client demands for simplicity. Drive Insights, the Big Four, is becoming the Big Three, with Omnicron's deal for IPG a watershed moment for advertising agencies. The acquisition estimated to be valued at over $13 billion by various media reports, significantly ramps up the agency segment pattern of consolidation in response to financial pressure and snowballing list of client demands. Omnicron and IPG view joining forces as a way to advance shared goals around data and technology, including creating an identity solution that can help employees and clients keep a finger on most of consumer data at a scale. So basically, this new Omnicron company or merger or whatever's going on is a better way to track you. So now they're going to know what doctor you go to, so they know what prescriptions to offer you, so they know what services to offer you. This is just like a big data broker. It's a big data broker. It's a big data broker. Saturday Night Live was sitting there talking about how good is it How did it? Oh, it's our hero. The dude that packed the dude. He's like, yo, stop calling him a hero. Stop calling Danny Penny a hero. The dude that hit the United Healthcare CEO is not a hero. Danny Penny is not a hero. There are people that did stupid things. If you can't realize that people do stupid things, stop being brainwashed. You're brainwashed by yourself. People are either brainwashed by Twitter or brainwashed by TikTok, and they talk to the same people that had the same opinion all day. Stop taking sides in things that don't involve sides. Don't involve sides. What did I say before? These buttons, right? These buttons are on every subway car. That button right there is on every subway car. The fact that 3 people were on top of Jordan Neely and only one of them is charged is the first atrocity. The second atrocity is, of the 3 people that was on top of Jordan Neely, nobody hit the help button. You know what happened? They hit the help button. The train would have stopped at the next stop. Everybody would have been pissed off on the train, right? But the train would have stopped at the next stop, and then they would have had no choice whatsoever, but to have the police come on the train. They would have broke up the situation, and it would have been over right there. It would have been over right there. And let me show you one more thing. You see this right here? This whole thing right here? That is how many stops he was on the train, right? 8 stops. It was 8 opportunities. 8 opportunities to get that man off of the train. That's why I don't think Danny Penny's a hero. Not a hero. He would have been a hero if they would have got him off the train at the first stop. No matter what happened. If they would have got him off the train at the very next stop, after he started acting out, he would have been a hero. You're not a hero after 8 stops. You're not a hero after 8 stops. You're not a hero after 8 stops. Don't tell people my secret identity. Don't tell people my secret identity. I don't need people protesting my tours because I'm against the dude that popped United Healthcare worker. I'm against Danny Penny. I'm neutral. I'm in the middle. I will call out both sides when he mess it up. The worst thing about the Danny Penny situation is there was 3 people on top of Jordan Neely that day. None of them hit the button. None of them helped him pull him off the train. The worst part about that is only Danny Penny's charged. There should be 2 other co-defendants. We don't even know their names. All 3 of them should be getting locked up for like at least 6 months to a year. If you don't like me for that, oh well, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to be on here grifting. I'm not no grifter. If you want to watch some grifters, there's plenty of podcasts out here watching grifters. This is relevant to what we were just talking about. New York mayor hits police may be close to naming suspects in Ryan Thompson's offing. New York police have again searched a Central Park lake for evidence, including a weapon connected to the mid-round shooting death of the United Healthcare CEO, Ryan Thompson. As the search for the executive killer entered its 6th day on Monday, officials have said they are winding their search down. Law enforcement sources told CBS that the New York Police Department and the U.S. Marshals had sent investigators to Atlanta to make inquiries and review surveillance footage from the Greyhound bus stops on a route from Georgia. Well, that Greyhound bus is probably not in Georgia. I would think that Greyhound bus probably hits the New York Port Authority way more than it hits Georgia. Police have not named a suspect, but Eric Adams, New York mayor, hinted on Sunday that the authorities may be getting closer to publicly identifying him. So I said I'm not really going to say too much more until he's publicly identified, right? But gotta bring this back up, right? He escaped on a city bike. Escaping on a city bike is like escaping on a city bus. It's impossible unless you had somebody to unlock the city bike. Everybody's like, oh, well, you had to have ID to get on Greyhound. No, you get your Greyhound tickets now on your cell phone. They give you a QR code. You come on, they scan it. Sometimes they check an ID. Sometimes they don't. 90% of the times they don't. They just scan your QR code on your phone. You're good to go. You get up on the bus, right? They don't do paper tickets now. Everybody's trying to get this paperless business credit. So how did he get on a bus with a false ID? He had a QR code. QR code, right? Most of us don't even have real IDs. At least I know I don't. I don't have a real ID. My ID specifically says on it, not a real ID. Let me see. Let you guys know, I'm not making stuff up. I don't make stuff up. Not for real ID purposes. I don't even have a real ID, and this is on government issued. I got a government issued ID, and it's not even a real ID. So most people don't have real IDs, so the Greyhounds can't scan their IDs. They're not checking their IDs. They're checking their ticket. They don't care about 90% of this stuff, right? The craziest thing is he got away on public transportation. You can't get away on public transportation. It's impossible. It's an impossibility. You said the shooter's sloppy? Yes, he's a shooter. The shooter's always going to be sloppy. But that's a high-class hit. There was too much stuff that went right in his favor for that not to be a high-class hit. They had to pay off somebody at the Port Authority or had to disable that bike from being tracked, right? That's going to cost some money. If you're paying off the whole Port Authority to not lock the bike, like, do you know what happens when you're riding around on a city bike and your time runs out? You can't pedal it no more. The chain locks up. It will bring it to a stop, and it starts flashing red lights. It starts flashing red lights when you ride the city bikes. If you ride the city bike and you do something you're not allowed to do, like, for instance, my street was not on a city bike location. You know what happened when I tried to ride a city bike on my street? It's like, because technically I lived right outside the city limits, even though the street connected to my street was in the city. The street that I lived on wasn't in the city, according to the city bike man. So I could ride up to my street corner, and as soon as I tried to take it down my street, So if this bike on its own with its GPS stuff would not let me go down my street, how did he get away from a hit on a city bike? And they knew he was on the city bike. They seen him get away on the city bike. All the police had to do was open up the app, find the city bike, hit the button. Beep! The city bike don't work no more. The city bike don't work no more. It would have stopped pedaling. It would disconnect the chain from it, and it would just start blazing a siren. But he got all the way. How many blocks did he get away? Makes no sense. That makes no sense. Me and you, we can't break the law on the city bike. But somehow this man broke the law on the city bike. That's how I know it's a high stakes hit. That's how I know it was a high price hit. There was a lot of money behind that. Because either they hacked the city bike, which probably ain't cheap, or they paid off officials to let him get away on the city bike. Yeah. Just look forward to anybody that tries to buy this company. Anybody buys that company, you already know it's something completely different. China targets Nvidia with antitrust probe escalating U.S. chip tensions. Well, how are you going to hit Nvidia for being an antitrust company, right? But you all got Intel and AMD doing the same thing. Intel and AMD is doing the same thing that Nvidia is doing, right? Now, I don't trust Elon Musk. Elon Musk earned a lot of my antitrust as of recently, but Allah wow. Lord Trump leaves RNC amid Senate chatter. So Lord Trump said, I quit. Breaking news. You're going to hear what ABC has to say, and then you're going to hear what I have to say. But a plane was almost hijacked in Mexico. Passenger arrested after trying to divert flight in Mexico to the United States. A 31-year-old man was arrested for allegedly trying to hijack a Mexican domestic commercial flight and reroute the aircraft to the U.S. Sunday morning, according to Mexican authorities and the airline rollers. At some point after the flight took off this morning from Lexington traveling to Tijuana, the Mexican man, identified by authorities only as Mario Ed, attacked the flight attendant and tried to storm the cockpit. Oh, he's trying to get up in the cockpit, huh? It's unclear the exact motive, but Mexico Federal Department of Security said that the airline personnel reported the man said that a close relative had been kidnapped, and shortly before takeoff, he received a death threat if he traveled to Tijuana. The man was traveling with his wife and 2 children, Mexican authorities say. Once the suspect was arrested, onto Tijuana without incident. You know, why was he trying to hijack a plane? You know? I tell people all the time, like, banning weapons or whatever is not, like, innovation outshines laws all day. They can't make laws to keep up with innovation at all. You try to hijack a plane in Mexico and fly it into America. I wonder where he wanted to land at. Did they tell us? They didn't even tell us where he wanted to land at.
All right, guys. We about to start getting back into the second half of this. See if there's anything else we should know about in the world. Now I gotta go hop in the water and get my day started. Letting these dogs hang out outside for a little bit longer. Probably should take this hoodie off. F it. You probably cost way too much for this stuff, y'all. What's up, WWE Adam? I want to see if there's any more headlines for the U.S. Yeah, I wonder if anything would happen if I started, Trump mocks Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as the governor of the great state of Canada. Hey, he a clown for real. He funny. But it's like, I don't want a comedian past life expectancy as a president. But hey, to each y'all own, to each your own, to each their own. Let me get this light back on. Whew. Pennsylvania's Governor United Healthcare CEO killer no hero. I keep saying that. Don't want to hear about that no more. I keep getting upset hearing about that stuff. We got an atmosphere river. So if you live in the Northeast, we about to start getting drenched. He said the Arctic tundra is now emitting pollution. How does that make sense? They said nature is polluting. reports of that. See what's going on in business. A phone company developed an AI granny to beat scammers at their own game. That's funny. Crypto day book. American banks favor King Dollar of BTC tug of war rages. Yeah, there really wasn't that much that happened today. Let's see if there's anything that happened in technology. It's part of the reason why I played some of the old stuff to have it go through. Apple iPhone 17 Air, thinnest ever designed. So if you like iPhones, that's a good thing. Here's a full list of OnePlus devices getting Android 15. Okay. Pixel 1.4, Fortnite OG, Ford Mustang, Cyberpunk. Pubs reportedly waiting for a GTA 6 release date before setting their own 2025 debate. Wow. Seems like this is where I'm going to end with you guys. If you want to follow us, you can follow us over to WTFFN.com or to Rumble.com and see what we're about to throw together. And, yeah, I said I'm off of Twitter for good. I keep my word. But if you want to learn about how not to run out of storage on your phone, this is a 2 terabyte hard drive. And let me show you how to put 4 terabytes on your phone. It's a lot simpler than you might think. But you know, here at WTFFN.com, we threw away the computer a long time ago. So, you want to have a computer set up? Gonna need some type of mouse. I prefer my PlayStation controller, a Bluetooth keyboard, or a wired keyboard. And we got the hub down here. I got a hub somewhere around here. I got a better hub too, but yeah. We gonna get into the rest of this over on WTFFN.com, where we're gonna shoot a video for Passion Services. And see you next time, guys. Peace.